Hey guys, Chelsea here. I'm subbing Luke's Vinyasa class today, and today the focus is moving with the flow of life. I don't know about you guys, but every day I wake up and I feel completely different. One day I feel really amazing, and the next I feel a little bit funky. And if you think about it, COVID is really changing the structural fabric of our society. We're doing things in a new way every day, and the rules are changing. So I don't know if you're like me, maybe you have a bit of a stubborn part of your personality, but sometimes we can resist these new things. It can feel uncertain. And so let's move through that today. Get out of that stagnant energy, get into the hips, get into our back, and breathe. So today you'll need 2 blocks and a blanket. If you're really flexible, you likely won't need the blocks, but the blanket is essential. So let's start standing on our mats. Our feet are going to be a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And I want you to just take a nice big breath in and place your hands on your heart. Taking a moment to settle into the body, feeling the feet root down into the earth. And let's bring in an intention together. I am open to the flow of life. I am open to the flow of life. I am open to the flow of life. You can release your hands down by your side. If your balance allows, you can keep the eyes closed as you lift the arms up to the ceiling, inhaling. Exhale, like your fingers are moving through water, bring them down by the side body. 2 more, sweeping wide up to the ceiling. Exhale, rooting down into the earth. Good. Start to flutter the eyes open. And we're going to start to open up the spine by rotating left and right and allowing your arms to be floppy. And the hands can just kind of hit the side of the hips, the glutes, wherever they may land. And you can start to make it a little bigger. The knees, the hips can move with you. Taking your gaze, following the arms. Allowing the arms to move a little further away. Good. Let that slow down and flow out. Now we're going to adjust our movement. So I want you to bend your knees. And your arms are going to hang heavy and just kind of dangle and bounce. So you're bouncing the knees. You feel your arms moving. And you're getting this nice kind of traction in the arms. But what we're also doing is moving this energy through the body. In traditional Chinese medicine, this would be called qi, your life force, your life energy. And start to lift the heels up, bouncing them on the floor and allowing this kind of small jarring sensation to shift up through the body, up through the shoulders, the neck, the head. We'll do this for 10 more bounces. And you can close down your eyes if your balance allows, so you can really feel this through the whole body. Good, and now we'll start to rotate. Starting to slow down, finding your center. You can stretch your knees out, nice straight legs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower the arms. Let's do 2 more, sweeping up wide. Exhale, bring the arms down. Last one, reach all the way up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Bending the knees generously, bringing the belly to the thighs. Slide the hands up the shins, lift up halfway.
Exhale, fold. Grab opposite elbow and just start to sway side to side, loosening up the hips, allowing the spine to lengthen, feeling the head heavy, tractioning the neck, letting go of all effort in the upper body. Starting to settle through center. Frame your feet and step back into your version of plank, knees up or down. Getting nice and long, slowly lower all the way down to the mat. Releasing the feet, squeeze the elbows in, lengthen the chest forward, drawing the shoulders down the ribs. Exhale, lower. Pressing up through tabletop. Scoot the knees in so you're on all fours, cat-cow. Taking your gaze forward. Belly dips down. Exhale, round up to the ceiling. Doing 2 more in your own timing. Returning to a tabletop position, curl the toes under, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. Bringing the knees through center, taking some movement in your down dog, feeling the hips start to open up. And then settling into stillness. Lifting the sit bones up high. Feeling the neck lengthen down to the floor in that spot in between the hands. Inhale, look forward. Step or hop forward. Folding heavy over the legs. Lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. Reaching all the way up to the ceiling. And coming right back down. Framing your feet, straighten the right leg and walk your hands to the outside edge of the left foot or the ankle, getting a nice stretch in the right hip. Walking the hands through center, straighten the left leg, bend the right knee. Feeling in to the outside of the left hip. Walking back through center, frame the feet, step back. Plank pose. Chaturanga. Peeling the heart forward into your cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up through tabletop. And bring your right foot forward into a low lunge. We're going to scooch that foot so far forward that you're in your most outstretched position where you can still breathe. You're still comfortable, but you're at your edge. Good. Let's take your hands to the hips. Keep the hips low and heavy. And I like to imagine a broadening of the hips on the inhale. And on the exhale, I squeeze the muscles together so we have nice stability. Inhale, reach the arms up through center. Plug the arms into the shoulders. And breathe. Allow gravity to meld the hips. Good. Curl the back toes under, hugging the hips with your hands. We're going to play with lifting the knee up, and we're going to keep the hips nice and low, and then tapping it on the floor. So nice straight leg and tap. If you're really tight in the hamstrings, in the hips, you might not be able to straighten the leg all the way, but that is the goal. 5 more. And the last one, we're going to hold here for 1 more deep breath in and out. Frame that front foot. Step back into your downward facing dog. Reach the left leg long up towards the ceiling. And release it down to the floor. Walk your dog out. Walk the feet to the hands. Fold heavy over the legs. Lengthening the back up towards the ceiling, the sit bones up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up for the ceiling. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Reminding yourself of our intention. I'm open to the flow of life. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, frame the feet, step back into plank. Lower all the way down. Slide your hands back an inch. Hug the elbows in, upward dog. Release back down. Inhale up through tabletop. Lift into down dog. And bring the left foot forward. Dropping the right knee down to the mat. If you need support, you can always use your blanket under the knee here. Good, so we're gonna walk the left foot forward until you get to your end range. Nice. Hands on the hips. Lift up all the way up to the ceiling. Broadening through the chest, sinking the arm bone into the shoulders. Finding expansion on the in-breath. Settling, sinking into the hips on the out-breath. Release your hands to your hips, curl the back toes under, and we'll play with our little knee taps. So straightening the back leg, tapping the knee down, and trying to keep your hips as low as you can comfortably. Good. 8 more. Hold. Knee is off the ground. Back of the leg is as straight as you can have it. Soften in towards the mat. Lower body heavy, upper body light, open, expanding. Frame your front foot. Step back into down dog. Lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. And release it down. Walk it out. Take your gaze to your hands. Step forward. Standing forward fold. Grabbing opposite elbow. Swing side to side. Allowing your breath to settle. Feeling the upper body lengthening down. Flowing with your body. Release your hands to your shins. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, folding. Pressing into the feet, rolling all the way up to standing. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. 2 more, sweeping up. Exhale, bring that energy down. Feel your feet on the mat. Last one, expanding from the heart. And letting it go. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, step back into your version of plank. Exhale, lower to the floor. Inhale, get nice and long from the toes to the crown. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up through down dog. Grounding down through the base of the thumb, the base of the pointer finger, lengthening the spine all the way out through the tailbone, and releasing the heels to wherever they land. Inhale. Step forward with the right leg. Drop the left knee to the mat. You can always use your blanket for a little extra cushioning under that left knee. Good. And we're going to walk the right leg straight. And this one, I really like the use of blocks. This is half splits with some mobilizations. So we're going to start in a hinge with a nice long spine. And we're going to flow over the front of the leg. The toes are pointing up to the ceiling. So start by tucking the chin, rounding towards the hip crease, and then lengthen your gaze out over the leg, arching the upper back to come up. Good, reverse it. So we come with a little extension in the upper back, and then we draw the chin to the knee, flexing in as we lengthen up. Good. Let's change the position of our leg. Let's bring the hip joint into an external rotation. So the foot points over to the right. Good. Let's do the same thing. Starting by flexing in, lengthening out over the leg. Nice long spine. And reverse. Tuck in the chin, flex in, and lengthen up. Let's change direction. So moving the leg into internal rotation. Good. Tuck the chin in, lengthen over your leg, and reverse. Drawing the chin in and lengthen up. And let's reverse legs. So we'll take the left leg forward, starting with the toes up towards the ceiling, flowing over the leg, opening the chest on the rise up, tucking the chin, rounding in reverse. External rotation, rotating it right into the hip socket. Good. Lengthening over the leg and winding up in and into internal rotation. And this just targets all different muscles that are around the femur bone. Feels so good. All right, walk into your low lunge. The left knee is forward. And I like to call this the butt kicker. And what we're really trying to do is open up the front of the right hip as well as the right quadricep. So we'll start with a pointed toe and we're going to kick our butt 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then flex the foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Point the toe. Maybe, just maybe, you can reach around and grab it. Draw it in. You should feel a nice, beautiful stretch in your quadricep. Just note if you've gone too deep, if it carries up into the back. Good. And release. Take your hands to the blocks. Let's do a jump switch. Nice. Butt kicker on the left side, starting with a pointed toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and flex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Point the toes, reach for the foot, pull it in, feel that nice stretch in the front of the left hip, the left quad. Good. And release. Step forward into your standing forward fold. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. Feel the head tip down even that little bit more with the arms up. Release the hands down, bring them to the shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Press into the feet, stand all the way up. Reach up, eyes closed, feeling into the body. Exhale, lower. Slowing down the heart rate. Inhale, like the hands are moving through water.
Up, up, up. Exhale, bring it down. Last one, reach up. Fingertips touch at the top. Exhale, flow forward into your standing forward fold. Lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale, lower. Frame your feet, step back into plank. Exhale, lower down to the mat. Walk your hands back an inch, upward facing dog. Inhale through tabletop, curling the toes under. Lift the hips high, step the right foot forward, and drop the left knee down to the mat. So we're gonna walk the right foot as far as we can comfortably. Lift up into your low lunge, and then take the right elbow to the inner right knee. Point the toes of the left foot, grab for your foot. If you don't have access to your foot, you can always lasso your blanket around it or a strap. Good. Slowly rotate to look at the back toes. Allow your hips to sink down. Breathing in and breathing out. Release the back foot to the floor. Frame that front foot. And let's do our little jump switch. Walking the left foot forward. Coming into your deep low lunge. Inhale, lift up. Reach for the back foot. Lasso it if you have to. And then left elbow to left knee. Get nice and tall in the spine. And then exhale, hips heavy to the floor. Slowly taking your gaze to your back foot. Keeping the neck soft, the shoulders lowered. I move with the flow of my breath. Release the back foot. We're going to frame the front foot and come into the high version of your low lunge. You can use a block here if you need to. We'll take the right hand next to the left foot, left hand to the heart, spin your heart to the side wall, and then reach up towards the ceiling. Gaze can be up, straight ahead, or down at your lunged foot. Exhale, frame that front foot. And let's take it the other direction. So left hand in front of the left foot, right hand to the heart, spin your heart to the sidewall, reach up. Lower the hips down. Keep the front knee over the ankle. And release. Step back into downward facing dog. Walk the dog out. Shift your knees from left to right. Get the hips moving. You can bring your shoulders into it. Looking under one armpit, then the other. And slowly find stillness, bending the knees deeply, bringing the belly to the thighs, and then straightening the legs out, releasing the heels down. Softening the neck. One nice long line from the pinky all the way to the hip crease. Take your gaze in between your hands. Step the right foot forward. Sink your hips down. Back leg is long, knee off the mat. And we'll start with the left hand by the right foot. Right hand to the heart. Spin your elbow up to the ceiling, reach up. Exhale, soften the hips. Allow them to melt down to the floor, but we have nice energy from the knee all the way to the back heel. Breathing in, breathing out. Framing your foot once more. Let's walk the right hand into the inner right leg. Left hand moves to the heart. Spin your heart up. Reach the left arm long. Low lunge twist. And let it go. Good. Let's get a little momentum here. Walking stick bug. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Exhale, fold heavy over the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, keeping a little bend in the knees. Feel the heaviness of the head. Move you deeper into your forward fold. Without forcing, just naturally allowing gravity to unwind and lengthen. Exhale, release the arms. Slide the hands up the shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Press into the feet, lifting all the way up to the ceiling. And let it go. Feeling the breath start to slow down, reaching all the way up. Exhale, lower. Feeling the energy move downwards into the hips, into the legs, into the feet. Bringing your hands to heart center. You can open your eyes. So this next one is called Breath of Joy, and I'm going to modify it slightly because I have a shoulder injury. If I fling my arms, it hurts it. So it'll be a little bit different than traditional. And essentially we're going to have the feet slightly wider than hip distance. Make sure you don't have any props in the way because we are going to move our hands downwards and I don't want you hitting anything because that wouldn't be fun. So our feet are slightly wider than hip distance. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Inhale out to the side. Inhale up. Exhale, let it all go. And this is really, really good for getting rid of that stagnant energy. We've warmed up the body, we've stirred it all up, and now it's time to let it go. So we're gonna do this 5 times. Inhale. Really heavy. Allow the upper body to be like a waterfall over the legs. Just soft, flowy, moving away from the pelvis. No tension. Just this gooey lengthening down to the floor. And slowly press into the feet. Rounding all the way up, nice and slow. Hips move forward, lengthening all the way. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower down. Now we're going to end with a standing cooling series. And this isn't technically yoga, this is Qigong. And I actually don't remember what it's called, but it feels amazing. So we're going to start in what's called horse stance. Your toes are going to be turned out. Make sure that that's happening from the upper leg bone, not just the feet. Sometimes I just see feet kind of go goofy. Good. And the knees are going to be easy, hands crossed at the heart. Good. So I want you to just close your eyes for a second and just think of all the garbage that you have been experiencing inside, those emotions, those icky feelings, those whatever's going on. Everybody's a little different. And I want you to inhale, expand the arms, reach up, harvest this beautiful heaven energy. And then like a coffee press, we're going to take the heaven energy and inject it into the body as we push out all the old stagnant energy. Bending through the knees, allowing it to disperse. My favorite part. Inhale, reach up. Harvesting heaven energy. Pushing out all the icky feelings. Letting it go. Disperse. 2 more. Harvesting heaven energy. Moving through the midline of the body. Disperse. Last one. Disperse. And resetting the hands, just hovering over the heart. Take a big breath in, cleansing breath out. And we're going to do the reverse. So we're going to come down, scoop up earth energy, and almost like leaves in the fall time. You're going to lift it up, you're going to feel it move up, down, and through. Inhale, scooping up earth energy, feeling it move over the front of the body. Disperse. Grabbing earth energy, feeling it move through the mid body. Disperse. Harvesting that beautiful earth energy, moving through the back of the body. Disperse. And this time we're going to just take it where you need it. So harvesting that beautiful grounding energy, really visualizing it move through you. Disperse. And one more. Disperse. Resetting the hands at heart center. Taking a full breath in. Full breath out. And noticing how your body is flowing, how it's feeling here in this moment. Release your hands down. Walk your feet in. We're going to keep the toes out for Malasana. So your feet are just slightly wider than hip distance. We'll take our hands to heart center and we're going to move into a deep squat. If you're less flexible in the hips, grab 2 blocks so you have a little bench to land on. If not, you can join me. So allowing the knees to open wide, feeling like you're sliding down a wall. Take the elbows into the inner knees and then release the pelvis down. Often I'll see people kind of collapsing here in the heart, so I really want you to open up through heart center. Keep the spine long, face is soft. Feeling into this heat, this new space we've created in the hips. One more breath in. And out. And release. Sitting in staff pose, I want you to squeeze the legs together. Toes are pointing up to the ceiling for the roll down. So the roll down is technically a Pilates move, but it feels amazing and we really work that deep core. Arms are at shoulder height, palms facing each other. Plug the arm bones into the shoulder socket. And as if someone kind of gave you a punch in the gut, you're going to start with the low back. You're rounding the low back down towards the floor. Your heels will slide on the mat. And this is the part where people usually drop. Really try to slowly lower all the way down. Arms move up overhead. Inhale back up to eyesight. Squeeze the legs together. Use that deep core to come all the way up to a seat. Let's do that one more time. The first time was like a trial round. We're going to do it one more time just to get the real feel for it. So start by squeezing the inner legs together. This is really where your core core starts, is in the legs, not just here in the center. So plug your arms in. Start with the low back, draw the navel to the spine, round the low back to the spine. We're in a C shape here, as if someone's holding your hand, pulling you the opposite direction, landing on the mat. Inhale, arms up overhead. Inhale, up to eyesight, curl the chin in, deep core, and lifting all the way up. Yay, you did it. All right, let's lower all the way down, and we'll use our roll down to get there. Good. So this one is a pike version on how to get to plow pose. So if you have never done this before, feel free to watch first. You can pause it and try it yourself and join in again. If you can pause in live videos, I don't know if you can actually do that. You'll tell me later. So grab the edges of your mat and then lift the legs up to hip height. We're gonna inhale, pike the legs forward. Exhale, push into the floor, lift the legs up and over, and you'll touch the floor or maybe your blanket. Good. And now to come out, we're gonna press down in the floor with our hands, use our core and the bracing of the arms to slowly, slowly, slowly lower the pelvis with control. Good, you ready to try that one more time? Inhale, pike forward. Exhale, push into your arms, lift up and over. Broaden the top of the shoulders, don't clench up into the neck. And slowly, 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 coming all the way out. Hugging the knees in, rocking side to side. And release the feet down to the floor. Good. So we have our heels nice and close to our sit bone. Our knees are a little bit apart, a block distance apart. And let's start with arms by the side, palms facing the hips for bridge pose. Press into the feet, lift the hips up. Check if one hip is higher than the other. That's really common. And really use your glutes. Where your glutes meets your hamstring, you're gonna squeeze together right here. Knees are moving forward over the toes. And if you want, you can roll one shoulder under, followed by the other, and press your hands down into the floor. Release the grip of the hands. Slowly, slowly lower all the way down. Let's tuck the knees in and rock side to side. Good. Pigeon pose. Coming to all fours, we'll pop up into downward facing dog, bringing the right knee to the right wrist and scooching the back leg long. Nice. If you're like me, I have a little gap here between the floor. Often I'll stick a blanket underneath for a little bit more support. And I want you to stay in high pigeon to start. You can have your hands on a block if that's helpful. And we do want the hips to be level if you can. If it feels okay for your body, that really works into not only the outer right hip, but the front of the left thigh. Good. Soften through the shoulders. Feeling the hips begin to open up. And if you can't breathe, that's a sign you've gone a little too deep. It's okay to move out of a pose if it's too much, to lessen the sensation so you can stay with it. Good. One more breath here. And we'll lower down. And every version feels a little bit differently.
to come up. Moving on, tented fingers. Curl the back toes under, scooching the left knee forward and lift into your downward dog. Mobilizing the knees, the hips. Reach the left leg long and take the left knee to the left wrist. Scooching the right leg back. I like to come high on tented fingers for pigeon, just to get a little bit more extension in the spine. Leveling out the hips. Usually we like to lean into one hip more than the other because it's more comfortable. And comfort is okay, but if you're working on flexibility and you can move to that edge, that's okay too. As long as you can breathe and you're not in pain, just comfort. Feeling the hips settling down to the floor. Still keeping a light energy up through the spine so we're not compressing too much into the low back. And begin to lower all the way down. Making a little pillow for your head with your forearms, or a block or a blanket. On your next inhalation, starting to press all the way up. Scooching the right leg forward. Lifting into downward facing dog and walking it out. Good. Drop your knees down. Wide-legged forward fold. I like to use a blanket here just to start to tip the pelvis forward. Starting in staff pose. Get nice and long. And then walk one leg over to the left, one leg over to the right. Good. Feel your sit bones ground down. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Nice long spine. Exhale, using your breath and the gravity, hinge forward. Cross your arms like you're mad. And I like to use the weight of the arms here like this to help pull the body forward without forcing. So there's this gentle lengthening of the low back, the inner thighs, with the gravity of the elbows, the arms. Keeping the spine long. Release your hands to the floor. Use your hands to lift all the way up. Cup under one knee, cup under the other knee, and you have a choice. For our final pose, you can choose Shavasana, or you can choose to sit in a seated meditation like I am. So I'm going to sit in Sukhasana. You could sit cross-legged or hips on heels. Good. Taking your time to get comfortable, supporting as you like to be supported.
And when you've found your place of comfort, begin to settle in with the breath. Letting go of all effort. Letting the breath flow in your own natural rhythm. Staying here for 3 more breaths. Starting to deepen your inhalation. Taking some movement in the fingers, bringing some life back into the body. Reaching up overhead. And when you're ready, you can meet me in a seat with your hands at heart center. Honoring the wisdom of your body. Knowing when you're feeling a little funky, you need some movement to move that stagnation. And also when you need rest or you need a listening ear. May you listen to that inner voice. Namaste. Thanks, guys. Until next time.